all my friends and relatives in four directions. This is Robert Pilot of Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake. I'm here to ask you for your support. Finding honest Native-centered news is not easy, but with your support, we're able to provide accurate information about Standing Rock, Line 3, treaty violations, and COVID-19 in our Native communities. Please visit Native Roots Radio Network on Patreon and donate if you can. That's Native Roots Radio Network on Patreon. Pinigigi, and thank you for your support.
Doherty Family College at the University of St. Thomas is your pathway to a bachelor's degree. Located in downtown Minneapolis, Doherty Family College offers an affordable education that includes free textbooks, a laptop, meals, career coaches, and a Metro Transit pass. As a full-time Doherty Family College student, you'll benefit from mentorship from St. Thomas faculty, along with paid internships and support from Minnesota's largest private college. Ready to turn your dreams into reality? Apply now at dfc.stthomas.edu. Doherty Family College, your journey to success starts here.
Activism in the 21st century takes many forms. For Minnesota Chippewa artist Rory Wakeup, it's Funktivism. He uses humor, satire, and regalia to challenge social and environmental injustice. Smart Wars is Wakeup's latest solo exhibition. It's a bold mix of Indigenous heritage with modern commentary. Through his multimedia art, Wakeup challenges perceptions and sparks conversations about Native resilience, climate action, and truth-telling. See Smart Wars at All My Relations Arts in Minneapolis, February 27th through April 5th. Details at allmyrelationsarts.org. The city of Minneapolis is now on Native Roots Radio with Minneapolis AIR. AIR stands for American Indian Relations. Guest host Christine McDonald talks to people about important things affecting the city's Native communities. Minneapolis AIR dives into topics like public safety, public health, elections, and so much more. Tune in to Minneapolis AIR on Native Roots Radio from 5 to 6 p.m. on the second Wednesday of every month, right here on AM 950. Support for Native Roots Radio comes from the Walker Art Center, an art space that's more than the spoon and cherry. Galleries celebrate contemporary visual art, including Indigenous artists like Edgar Heap of Birds, Cheyenne and Arapaho Nation, and Jim Demini, Ojibwe. Additionally, films screen in the cinema, and performances are shown on stage. Free every Thursday night and free every day for members and citizens of tribal nations. Learn more at walkerart.org. Again, that's walkerart.org.
With a look at your AM 950 weather, I'm Patrick Lilia. Tonight, partly cloudy with a low of 31, then Wednesday, cloudy with a high of 55. Join us this Sunday as we celebrate Matt McNeil's 15th anniversary at AM 950 with a spectacular celebration lunch at Crooner Supper Club in Fridley. The celebration begins at 2 o'clock. Get your tickets now at am950radio.com. Only limited tickets remain.
Portions of Native Roots Radio may be pre-recorded.
It's a good day to be Indigenous.
Get up, stand up.
They are going to become more brutal.
Because all the hippies were trying to be Indians anyway.
They're going to become more repressive because it's a matter of dollars and their illusionary concepts of power.
Hey, Victor.
We must live in balance with the earth.
And also with recent happenings at Wounded Knee.
I am awake. Welcome to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and I'm your host, Wakanja Hade. Hey, Kadagi to all my friends and relatives in four directions. You are listening to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and I'm your host, Robert Pilot. Hey, we discuss local, national, Native news and events. And as you know, Chujunk, Native issues are human issues, and human issues are Native issues.
Yes, you are right, Dega. And this portion of the show is supported by JS Bean Factory off Randolph Avenue in St. Paul. Only the good stuff keeps us awake.
Hey, before we get to our word of the day in Ho-Chunk, I got to just give a shout out to Mike. He was listening, I believe it was last Friday, and he's our accountant, Haley, and he couldn't get over the fact that I just said that that animal only had 72 teeth.
Oh, was that during Wendy's Fun Fact Friday segment?
Yes.
I think she was asking about the shark. And yeah, you were very under guessed there.
Yeah, way under. But I just got to give Mike a shout out. I know he's listening, and thanks for doing our taxes in a good way. Ho, wah.
Oh, yeah, Pina Gigi, Mike. Thanks for doing that for us.
Yeah.
And yeah, thanks for bringing up Friday's show. I love our Friday episodes on Native Roots Radio, especially when Senator Mary Kunish comes on. And of course, Wendy does her fun fact segments. So if you
Yeah.
can catch those on your Fridays, please do.
Yeah, definitely. And like us and share us and all those fun things that get, we get like about 3,000 views on on Facebook, and we just want to give a big shout out to all the people that click on there and listen to us. And when we're in community, we see a lot of our relatives out there, and they say, "Who?" And I
Yeah,
go,
it's
"Are
so
you
fun.
Haley? Are you Robert?"
They're like, I can tell by your voice.
Yeah, exactly.
I
Hey,
love that.
Hey, speaking of love, I love the Ho Chunk language, and I know we've been doing something kind of new, and I'm wondering if you can give us maybe last week's pronounce of a few things, and then today's word of the day.
Yeah, thanks for letting me do this. I've came up, with a little title. I thought Haley's Ho Chunk word of the day was kind of cute. But yeah, we talk a lot about language revitalization and bringing back our traditional language. So Robert and I are Ho Chunk. So we're learning a bit of the Ho Chunk language, and we're kind of taking it word by word. Currently, we've been talking about animals. We've talked about the wolf, which is shunk chunk, is how we say that in Ho Chunk for
Oh,
wolf.
oh,
Yep. The dog is shunk. So a
yeah.
little bit relatable there to the wolf. We talked about deer. Do you remember the word for deer?
Is this a 72 teeth?
Yeah,
Yeah.
not quite, but the word for deer is actually chaw.
Oh,
And yeah, so chaw, if you see deer in the woods, around dusk or dawn, you can say, hey, look at those chaw out there.
mm,
Some even have those deer antlers, and we call those chaw hay, deer antler,
hey,
chaw
it's
hay.
hey,
Hey, hello,
hey.
yeah, right.
Yeah.
Today's word, though, this was one that sticking with animals. I saw, I think it was maybe the Wisconsin DNR, but they posted a trail cam video this morning, and it was a big bobcat. But I actually thought it was a cougar just because of the size of this bobcat was insane. Very well fed.
I wonder how many teeth that bobcat has.
Yeah, that's a great question.
We'll ask
I
Wendy
would think.
Friday.
Yeah. Well, that Ho Chunk word, this one's a bit longer. So
Oh,
for cougar in Ho Chunk, I want to say this right too. We say Winchwa Sinchsidich. Winchwa Sinchsidich.
which
And
was
that means
it's
cougar.
wow. By the time
Yeah.
you finish saying that word, the cougars attacked you.
That's what I was thinking. I'm like, do people know that we have cougars and like some people call them mountain lions, whatever you call them. We have bobcats, we have
Mhm,
lynx. But those are in Minnesota. We do have them in Wisconsin as well.
mhm.
So I mean, rarely you will see these animals in the wild, but if you ever do, especially if you're hiking in the North Woods, if you do encounter one of these, cougars or Winchwa, oh no, I can't say it. Winchwa
Winchwa Saint
Sinchsidich.
Stadich.
Yeah. If you do encounter one of those in the wild, you want to maintain strong eye contact. Do not turn away or show your back. Definitely don't run. If you do encounter a cougar or a bobcat, just kind of stare them off, do a staring contest, and slowly walk backwards. Talking calmly, you can put your arms up in the sky to make yourself appear bigger, but always maintain that eye contact and don't turn away.
Well, I'm 63, so how old would be a cougar? Would that be someone in the 80s that would be a cougar?
Okay, yeah, that's a totally different
Oh,
meaning.
oh, okay.
But here's the thing. So I never really thought that I would encounter a cougar in the wild. I don't know why, but just like growing up in Minnesota and near the Twin Cities, there was actually a cougar that was in Minneapolis.
What?
Do you remember that last year? I
No.
think we talked about it. It was killed right away, which was really sad.
Oh, God, yes, I do remember now that you mention it.
Yeah.
Jeez. Was that
Yeah, I saw one up in the Forest Lake area. So they're around definitely, but the one time I did see one was sneaking out at night, and I definitely didn't do that after I saw that.
your teenage years?
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Hey, I can relate.
Yeah.
I had a ladder that I had to get on the second floor, but that's another story and another show, I think.
Yeah.
God
We
bless
could
my
talk about
parents
those
that
later.
made that through my teen years.
Well, speaking of kind of, getting in trouble with the law,
Yeah.
this is a story that you sent me that I wanted to just kind of bring up
Yeah,
briefly.
definitely.
Over the weekend, I think I saw this yesterday.
Hmm.
But there was a Red Lake Nation tribal citizen that got pulled over and cited with a ticket for what police thought were fake license plates. And the plates that this tribal citizen had on their vehicle were legit MMIR plates, missing and murdered Indigenous relative
Hmm.
plates. And you are allowed to have those plates. It is illegal to have those plates on your car. And it's also legal to drive off reservation with them.
Crazy. And you know what, Haley? There's a lot of this going on, and that's why it's kind of good that we bring this up across the country. We have people that are professional soccer players being detained and sent off, and I think we had well, it just keeps on popping up that people are being detained, and nobody really is. There's no due process, and here we go. Here in Minnesota is a perfect example of this.
Yeah. So, yeah, that was really kind of hard to see. I want to shout out that specific Red Lake Nation tribal citizen just for kind of standing up for himself, sharing that story,
Yeah.
and saying, hey, this isn't right. This isn't. You're not following the law. And for law enforcement officers, I mean, please look up the tribe's laws. I mean, as an officer of the state, you should know all the laws before you're going out and enforcing them.
I gotta be careful because I got a MMIWR plates too.
Oh yeah, they might come get you.
Well,
Might come get you and pull you over.
or Wendy if she's driving the car.
Yeah, but stand up for yourself. Those plates are
Definitely.
very legal.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
We joke about it, but this is what the world we're living in now, and it is no joking matter.
Yeah. I want to bring up too, speaking of Red Lake, tomorrow, Wednesday, March 26th, at the Minnesota State Capitol is Red Lake Nation Day from 8 a.m. to 4:30 in the evening. That opening ceremony will start at 8 a.m. With drum and songs on the front steps of the Capitol. There will also be an evening reception from 6 to 8 p.m. at the Red Lake Nation College, Minneapolis campus, which is 900 South 3rd Street.
Yeah, I'm gonna try and make that. Tomorrow I might be a little booked with my other job, but definitely supporting and amplifying the great things that Red Lake are doing, and I'm glad you brought that up. And
Yeah.
I'll be trying to go to the Red Lake College from 6 to 8 at 900 South 3rd Street in Minneapolis. You can see that bird killing dome right across the street.
Oh, U.S. Bank.
Yeah. Jeez, that's another story too. Wendy and I will talk about that in the animal section, how it kills 100 birds a day with those with the windows. But hey, this is Native Roots Radio, and we're gonna turn it positive.
We got Ruth and a Buffalo up next.
Yeah, hey, stay with us. This is again Native Roots Radio. I am awake.
The city of Minneapolis is now on Native Roots Radio with Minneapolis Air. AIR stands for American Indian Relations. Guest host Christine McDonald talks to people about important things affecting the city's Native communities. Minneapolis Air dives into topics like public safety, public health, elections, and so much more. Tune in to Minneapolis Air on Native Roots Radio from 5 to 6 p.m. on the second Wednesday of every month, right here on AM 950.
In a galaxy not so far away, the battle for truth rages on. Smart Wars is a solo exhibition by Rory Wakeup, a Minnesota Chippewa artist who flips the script on Star Wars using humor and regalia. Wakeup challenges colonial narratives and reclaims indigenous values of balance, resilience, and environmental activism. This exhibition runs February 27th through April 5th at All My Relations Arts in Minneapolis. More information at allmyrelationsarts.org.
Support for Native Roots Radio comes from the Walker Art Center, an art space that's more than the spoon and cherry. Galleries celebrate contemporary visual art, including Indigenous artists like Edgar Heap of Birds, Cheyenne and Arapaho Nation, and Jim Demini, Ojibwe. Additionally, films screen in the cinema, and performances are shown on stage. Free every Thursday night and free every day for members and citizens of tribal nations. Learn more at walkerart.org. Again, that's walkerart.org.
Have you considered a career in the museum field? The Minnesota Historical Society is now accepting applications for its Native American Museum Fellowship. The 10-week summer program is a mix of workshops, seminars, and hands-on internships at the Minnesota Historical Society. It is open to undergraduate students, recent graduates, and community scholars with an interest in museums and heritage studies. Learn more and apply now at mnhs.org/NAI.
Hi, this is Representative Sharice Davids from Kansas. I'm Ho Chunk, and you're listening to Native Roots Radio.
And we're back to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and this is Robert Pilot.
This portion of the show is supported by Native American Community Development Institute, or NACD, in Minneapolis.
Hey, welcome back, everybody. And it is Tuesday, and we have our friend Ruth Anna Buffalo, who's CEO of Minnesota Indian Women's Resource Center here in Minneapolis in the Twin Cities. And geez, Ruth, I'm wondering, how long have you been on the show? How long have I known you? 2017?
I believe it was after. Hi, Dosha. Madzagada, thank you for having me. I would say not
I didn't
long
mean to
ago.
start out with such a hard question. Sorry.
That's okay. I believe it was after I was elected into office, and I think I was here for a fundraiser to support a fundraiser in St. Paul, I believe, and I think that might have been the first time I met you in person, but I'm not sure if we had our interview when I was in between flights in the airport before or after that.
That's right.
I've heard of that story.
And that's a great story. And then state senator who was state representative at the time, Mary Kunish, interviewed you.
Yeah.
That was a crazy little thing. And they have that every year, and I guess they do a lot of fundraising for the group, the shelter group. So it's really, it was interesting. it was good meeting you in person, and then I saw you at Wounded Knee. You were speaking at a place, and I saw you there, and I got to meet what was her name? South Dakota senator. First time in person, and we'd been on the Sunday night symposium for a good year, and I never met her in person until then.
Yeah, that was Senator Red Dawn Foster. Yeah. and yeah, she's amazing. And I remember too, with that fundraiser event too, with like meeting a Native woman wrestler there.
Yeah,
and
right.
And then
From
we had
California.
Yeah, and she does self-defense classes. I follow her on Facebook. And then we have a connection too with Women of Nations too. Our relatives, like Della, is an older first cousin of mine. Her dad is my uncle, or he's the oldest in my mom's siblings. Her late father, Uncle Junior. And then we have cool stories of there's a picture too of my sister friend Twyla, who's a president of the tribal college back home. There's a cool picture of my Uncle Junior and Twyla's dad, and my Uncle Junior's on a horse, because after the flooding of 94% of our agricultural land for the making of the Garrison Dam, they still found ways so that flood, pretty much split communities and families apart. We went from one centralized location, Elbow Woods, which is underwater. But my uncle, there's a picture of him on a horse, because we were horse people as well as river people. But my grandpa had a lot of horses, and my Uncle Junior was a horseman, and even throughout his life. And Della was in the military, and she had twins. And so the connection too with twins. I think my sister was recently in town for my twin nephew's spring break last week, and so she was saying the current count on twins in our family is 21, because one of our nephews recently celebrated the arrival of his twins, and it's a boy and a girl. So yeah, it's so crazy. We don't really openly share or broadcast it, but we got a lot of twins in our family. It's kind of cool.
Yeah. Well, was the person you're speaking of too someone that you played basketball with and works for the college? Is that Twyla?
Oh, Twyla, yeah, we have this cool photo. Yeah, she played volleyball too. She played volleyball at JUCO at Bismarck State College. But yeah, we have this one cool photo together after United Tribes Technical College. After that powwow, the International United Tribes powwow, we're both standing there with basketballs. I had like a stuffed, like the comparison of a stuffed animal, but it was a stuffed basketball. I was holding that, and she was holding a basketball in front of her purple Dodge Neon.
That's great. And then all these connections you have over the years, whether it's basketball or relatives, it's just really cool to hear you talk about them over the years. Hey, speaking of which, you being an athlete, I had a chance the night before to meet Billy Mills, and I saw that you got to meet him too. What a amazing person.
Yes, he is amazing. I was actually he crossed my mind today. It's a really nice spring day out here in the Twin Cities area, and cool to see like the clouds and the sky and the sun out. And I always think of back in the day, just the running days and how he was such a huge inspiration. But yeah, I still is a huge inspiration to all of us. But I remember specifically like when I was away at school throughout high school, and I ran track, and I always think of Billy Mills before each race, and he was just a big inspiration to me at that time. And I didn't really know any other women Native athletes other than my mom, and which is cool too. I mean, my mom used to be a huge runner, like would run twice a day. My one of my older brothers and I used to like try to go and follow her, but we would just end up staying in a junction or approach until she would come back. But yeah, like, her there turnaround point. But yeah, my mom was a runner, and great big calf muscles. And I always used to think like, oh, that's gonna be me when I get older, but yeah, I was able to cross paths with Billy Mills last week. I was at the Indian Center for a meeting, and I got the location mixed up, and so ran into some friends, and I was visiting with them, and then went back and past Gatherings Cafe and saw him there and his wife, and so I popped in and said hello. But yeah, it was cool to see them.
Well, people don't realize that he's not only the first 10,000 meter winner of a gold medal in the United States, but the only one.
Yes. And I remember watching Running Brave, and like what popped in my mind today, what I was sharing earlier, is like when he crossed the video footage of him running across the finish line. I think, if any of us have run track before, when you do cross the finish line, that's like a vivid memory. I mean, not like at that magnitude of like an Olympic gold medalist, but similarly, you have that same kind of feeling, or that when they talk about like getting a runner's high, with like a natural high because you run so much. And thankful to have had those running experiences in my lifetime, and where you're able to and when you're outside, it's something to be able to enjoy the good weather outside, springtime. I follow this young man on Instagram, and I saw that his home state of Montana recently highlighted him because he's such a positive person. And so I saw today, he kind of got a good chuckle out of his Instagram story. It said the caption was "first track meet of the season," and he's really become like an ambassador. I think it's so cool to see, like, during these times that we're in, whether, however you view it, good or bad, he's really like connecting people from across different communities. And so there was a visiting team. They asked him, "Hey, Ray, what's the quote of the day?" Like, so it'll be random people will come on and they'll say, hey, Ray, what's the quote of the day? And he'll just share like something inspiring, so you should try to look him up and check him out. His quote of the day today is just cute, like really inspiring. And he was talking about track, and then he said, and don't forget to breathe, like never give up and don't forget to breathe, but be cool if you could try to get him on your show. That would be amazing.
Yeah. I know exactly who you're talking about. Quote of the day, Ray, is what they call
it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, I know. Billy found a downhill skier that we're going to try and get on soon with the same kind of vibe, Native American kind of, right, Haley?
Yeah, her name's Ellen Bradley. So she's from Alaska and she's a professional skier. She's also a scientist. So very smart, very athletic, and she's got a documentary out. I'll have to find the title, but she's encouraging natives to get more into skiing, downhill skiing.
Right on.
That's cool.
Yeah,
I saw.
I'd break a hip because I'm getting at that age, Ruth Anna. Hey, we only got a minute left. Let's get a shout out to what's going on at Minnesota Indian Women's Resource Center.
Yes, thank you. We have our regular programming, support groups for kinship, through kinship. If you receive services, if you're, family member raising your family members, that's a pretty cool group that meets every first Monday of the month for different activities. One time they played bingo. There's always a meal and fellowship, just supporting one another. And then we have our Native Survivors Support Group also that meets regularly. I believe it's every other Friday. And we also have a mom's support group as well. So lots of support, lots of love. We're just coming off of hosting our weekly Tuesday Resource Connect in the community room. And so, yeah, we still are, full steam ahead and looking forward to the tenant spaces opening up in August. And so those will be emergency housing units with supportive services. And we're just thankful for the ongoing partnerships and community support that MIWRC receives. Mods and Gadods, thank you.
Hey, just a quick email, Facebook, website.
Yep, miwrc.org or MIWRC for our Facebook, and Minneapolis, MPLS, MIWRC for Instagram.
Always fun catching up with you and the great work that you and your organization do, and hearing a little history about your family. That's always good. We got to get deep into someday about what happened to all that farmland during the damming up. That's a tragic story that needs to be told.
Mods and Gadods, thank you.
We'll see you. Hey, that's Ruth Anna Buffalo, and this is Native Roots Radio, and we'll be right back after the short break.
Stay with us.
Are you experiencing troubles with thinking, comprehending, or speaking, have post-COVID brain fog, ADHD, concussion, tremors from Parkinson's, mental health issues, or simply striving to maximize your brain's potential? At Hypercharge Wellness Centers, we deliver transformative results for the brain. Hypercharge Wellness's brain fitness protocol utilizes cutting-edge modalities, including PEMF, red light therapy beds, and transcranial laser, which all work together to improve focus and cognitive functions. These treatments aim to improve the brain's blood flow and electrical patterns, which reduces anxiety and enhances relaxation, providing a comprehensive approach to brain health optimization. All are invited to experience this life-changing journey towards achieving the pinnacle of cognitive and emotional well-being. Call or go online to schedule your free Hypercharge Wellness introductory session valued at $200 today. This is your opportunity to feel the difference for yourself. No matter where you are in the Twin Cities, there is a convenient location near you. Visit hyperchargeclinic.com now. That's hyperchargeclinic.com. Hypercharge is hope.
Hey, it's Patrick. We're headed into March, which means spring cleaning is almost here. You're about to realize that, and so is just about everybody else, too. That's why you need to beat the spring cleaning rush with big savings and priority booking by calling our friends at Zero Res right now. We just had Zero Res over at our house last week, and they did such a wonderful job. They were on time, professional, and we couldn't be happier with the results. Spring is a time for renewal. Let Zero Res help you refresh your home with clean carpets, fresh floors, and improved air quality. This month, get 3 rooms Zero Resified from Minnesota's #1 carpet cleaner starting at $129 and take $75 off an air duct cleaning. Again, that's 3 rooms starting at $129 and $75 off an air duct cleaning. Beat the rush. Call now 952-0-RES or go to ZeroResMinnesota.com and ask for the AM 950 special. That's Zero Res. Backward or forward spells the same.
This is Chad, owner of AM 950. I want to tell you about a better, more environmentally friendly way to care for your lawn with Natural Lawn. Natural Lawn has been treating Minnesota lawns for more than 20 years with organic-based natural products that feed the soil without unnecessary chemicals. That means an envy-worthy, healthier lawn that's safer for your family and your furry friends. Natural Lawn has no contracts and is 100% satisfaction guaranteed. So let Natural Lawn handle your lawn care so you can enjoy your lawn. More at naturalawn.com.
Is your remote workforce putting your company at risk? Cyber criminals are targeting your employees with COVID-19 inspired emails and attacking businesses like yours. Hi, Mark Sommerfeld from Rymark. Rymark has the tools and expertise to enable your employees to work securely from home. If you need help getting your staff to work remotely and securely, call 651-328-8900 or go to rymarkit.com. That's 651-328-8900 or rymarkit.com.
It's no secret that medical care costs are soaring, with nursing home and skilled nursing care costs being some of the highest. You don't have to deplete your savings in order to receive long-term care. At Schroman Law, we work with families to develop and implement strategic planning for medical assistance for long-term care, for assisted living, nursing home care, or home-based care. Contact us today to schedule a free consultation at schromanlaw.com. That's SCHROMEN law.com.
With a look at your AM 950 weather, I'm Patrick Lilia. Tonight, partly cloudy with a low of 31, then Wednesday, cloudy with a high of 55. Cafe Latte is unlike any restaurant you've ever experienced. Grab a tray and pick from their award-winning selections of soups, salads, sandwiches, and mouth-watering desserts. Cafe Latte, Victoria Street and Grand Avenue in St. Paul, or cafelatte.com.
Oh, this is Dallas Goldtooth, and you're listening to the Native Roots Radio. Hoka, hicha, wecha.
Welcome back to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and this is Robert Pilot.
This portion of the show is supported by the Minnesota Historical Society, preserving and sharing Minnesota's heritage for the benefit of all Minnesotans.
Yes, they do. And hey, we have our friend Rita Arndt on, Program and Outreach Manager with Native American Initiatives at the Minnesota Historical Society. Hey, it's great to see you again. Saw you at the market with your cousin, Angie Big, who's been on the show many times. Great to see you. And what's happening?
Yeah, it was good to see both of you in real life. I yelled at Haley from across the way so that before she got her tattoo.
I know. I was like, who is that? It sounds like Rita.
That's awesome. Well, you know, what's going on with the Minnesota Historical Society? And I know there's a lot, so let's get with it and talk about it.
Yeah, we have a lot going on per usual, but one of the things we wanted to talk about is our Native American Museum Fellowship Program, which has been in some kind of iteration for over a decade. At this point, we have over 100 alumni who have been through this program. And it is designed has become a more robust fellowship in the summer now. And it's a 10-week program with 3 weeks of that being a seminar where we talk about the museum field, the challenges, the opportunities, what that looks like, and more than just beyond like working in a museum, but also working out in the field, cultural resource stewardship, all kind of tribal historic preservation, all kinds of stuff like that. And then there's also a 7-week paid internship as part of this. So 10 weeks there's lots of money involved. Well, not a lot of money, but you get paid, you get money as well as an experience. And we also work with schools if you wanted to get credit as well, if you are currently in a college program.
Cool. Do those credits go towards high school too?
No, this program is currently for 18 plus. So we're looking for adults. We do have a teen program, which we've talked about. And I'm like, I don't know if we've ever thought about doing that for credit, but that's something to think about.
Yeah, I know that when I taught high school, we had a lot of credits from college would work, especially with the PSEO stuff, and would go through. So I thought I'd ask that. What does boots on the ground mean when you say that they'll be learning part of? I don't know exactly how you put that.
Yeah, well, part of the opportunity is we really want hands-on. Will be our first time post-pandemic where we'll be together for the entire 10 weeks. We've had a hybrid model in the past, but the internships may still be a hybrid model, but we'll have a 3-week seminar. And part of that is we will go visit some native cultural institutions throughout the state. the Twin Cities, but also throughout the state to visit places like Pipestone National Monument, to visit places
Wow.
like the Mille Lacs Indian Museum, to really see what it means to be like represented in a museum as Native people and how we can change that if that's needed and what that can look like.
That's exciting and needs to be done, and it's amazing too because I love history, and then I also love good history too. So you're talking about that too.
Yeah, and we really try to make sure that we can partner the fellow with a internship that they'd really enjoy. So we work with all the departments at the Minnesota Historical Society. So we've had marketing internships, archaeology internships, collections internships, but also thinking about other places like exhibit design, like stuff like that. So wherever your interest may lie, we try to align that with a good experience to have during the summertime at the Historical Society.
That's awesome. And then that's one more time, how do people find out more information or sign up for this?
Yeah, so it's mnhs.info. That a backslash NAMF 25, and that'll take you to where you need to apply. The applications are due April 4th. And we're happy to also we have contact information if you have any questions about any of the application requirements.
So this is for undergraduate students, recent graduates, and community scholars. Can you kind of describe like who is qualified as a community scholar?
Yes, of course. I think this is really exciting because this is our first year doing this with a lot of feedback from our Indian Advisory Committee, which has been working with MNHS since 1989. They were like, well, that's great. You have a college related program, but how can you support community members who are interested in the field, but not, college wasn't the path they chose and they still have the knowledge and the drive to be able to support their community in this way. So we've kind of taken away that requirement have to be in an institution, a post-secondary institution, to broaden it to those who are interested in like, well, how can I support my community in this way, in a different way? So I'm really hoping that this can branch off into other things because it's been very successful with the undergraduate students. So I'm hoping that we can continue that moving forward with community scholars as well.
Great question, Haley. Do you have any more questions? That was spot on.
Awesome. Well, I guess I think like can you mention some of like the internships? Like was communications one of them? I think you said like social media.
Yeah, our marketing team, like we have a lot of our department, Native American Initiatives. We have 2 social media accounts that we run, but we also provide a lot of content and review for Minnesota Historical Society's larger social media. And then across the site network, I believe MNHS has at least 30 different social media accounts, which seems kind of a lot, but there's so much coming out that we need to be able to share it in a variety of ways to the right audience. So always an opportunity to even just, to help with filming stuff, to help with interviews, to help create content. So that is something that we want to think about too, is how do we make museums more accessible? And social media has been a really great tool to do that.
Wow.
Wow, that is amazing. Rita, this is kind of off script here, but how many years have you been with Minnesota Historical Society?
I have been there 11 years, and I first learned about the program when I started, and it was still kind of fresh. So I was kind of jealous that it was an opportunity that I was able to have because this is totally up my alley and would have
Mhm.
really helped me pave a easier way to get to the path I am. But I love supporting this program. I've been part of it for in some kind of capacity in all my years at MNHS as a Native person working in a museum. So it's been really fun to be able to make those connections and keep with a lot of them over time. I'll mention that 2 of our staff are in Native American Initiatives went through this program. So it is a nice pipeline to working within, the museum field, cultural resource, maybe for your tribe and other things too.
That's amazing, and is it safe to say that things have really changed in those 11 years when it comes to, the Minnesota Historical Society being open more to feedback from Native communities?
I believe so. I believe, like, sometimes change, it doesn't happen overnight, but in my tenure of 11 years, I have noticed some change, noticed the leadership in our board and a lot of our even our the folks that come to the historical society to visit exhibits, the donors even are very excited about more content related to Native Americans in our site network. So I really appreciate that. And I'm glad to have conversations directly with some of those folks because it's usually not like that. So it's been an interesting path and I've enjoyed it.
Yeah, well, this Native American Museum Fellows sounds so exciting. I can't think of. You're probably one of the only places in the country that does something like this.
I think there is maybe similar fellowship like out east, but it's a very rare thing for
Mhm.
specifically to get more into the museum field. There's a lot of larger like liberal arts, humanities type areas type of things, and really a lot of focus in like the art sector. So there
Mhm.
is, but I was like, I'm hoping there will be more opportunities. But yeah, that's why we've tried to broaden a little more, and we're not restricted to just um, those tribes affiliated in Minnesota. We are regional and even have been national depending on how that fits. So don't think that you wouldn't get something out of it if you're not necessarily from a tribe from here. There's a lot of transferable knowledge that you'd be able to use for your own community.
So, just to change gears again, how is the teen program going? Reconnecting our roots or
Re
roots.
it's going really well. We worked, now I feel bad because I do not know this gentleman's last name, but he's an Ojibwe, Wisconsin Shinab who, we talked about food sovereignty last week, and we got to cook raccoon, which I was very skeptical about, but now I have learned a lot and am not skeptical, and I did eat some, and so did all the students, which I was a little worried about too, because you never know.
A raccoon, what's that?
A raccoon.
Oh, a
Oh,
raccoon.
I
Oh,
love
Esibon,
some.
whoa.
Esibon, which was different, but I was like, "Man, I'm a city Indian through and through." But we also had some, wild rice, of course, but, like, fiddlehead fir and ferns for so it was a all foraged, all natural like, natural ingredient, and so that was really neat. So that
Mm.
program is, finishing up this week, and then we're actually gonna be starting to recruit for the summer very soon because we're gonna have a summer session, and we wanna try to get the students, when they're still in school, to be interested in a summer program.
That's awesome, and, that reconnecting our roots is going good, so everyone out there, pay attention, and that'll be coming up very soon. So, we only got, like, a minute or so left here, and I don't wanna get too deep into it, but I know on, Thursday, March 27th, at the History Center in St. Paul, Native Women Run will be, representative, by NWR's founder, Verna Volker from the Navajo Nation, and will be speaking on her experience as a Native ultra marathon runner.
Yeah, we're really excited to have a lot of programming this month of March related to because it's Women's History Month. And we're really
Right.
trying to lean into that, especially to tie in conversations with the girlhood exhibit, which I've mentioned before with Brooke LaFleur being talked about in there. So this is a really just a nice intersection. So there's been stuff all month with different talks about, women and how they united the Twin Cities from all different backgrounds. So it's just been a really great thing to see. And so I'll be happy to talk more about what that programming looks like on Thursday and how you can get there and more stuff you can do as well.
Right, right on, and that takes us to a break. You're listening to Native Roots Radio, and we're with Rita Arndt and Minnesota Historical Society Talk. Hey, we'll be right back.
The city of Minneapolis is now on Native Roots Radio with Minneapolis Air. AIR stands for American Indian Relations. Guest host Christine McDonald talks to people about important things affecting the city's Native communities. Minneapolis Air dives into topics like public safety, public health, elections, and so much more. Tune into Minneapolis Air on Native Roots Radio from 5 to 6 p.m. on the second Wednesday of every month, right here on AM 950.
Have you considered a career in the museum field? The Minnesota Historical Society is now accepting applications for its Native American Museum Fellowship. The 10-week summer program is a mix of workshops, seminars, and hands-on internships at the Minnesota Historical Society. It is open to undergraduate students, recent graduates, and community scholars with an interest in museums and heritage studies. Learn more and apply now at mnhs.org/NAI.
Support for Native Roots Radio comes from the Walker Art Center, an art space that's more than the spoon and cherry. Galleries celebrate contemporary visual art, including Indigenous artists like Edgar Heap of Birds, Cheyenne and Arapaho Nation, and Jim Demini, Ojibwe. Additionally, films screen in the cinema, and performances are shown on stage. Free every Thursday night and free every day for members and citizens of tribal nations. Learn more at walkerart.org. Again, that's walkerart.org.
I love my Toyotas from Rudy Luther Toyota for one simple reason. I can depend on them. You know they keep you safe, and they're incredibly reliable, fuel-efficient, comfortable, and stylish. The Consumer Reports Best of 2025 edition has 10 Toyotas as best buys in affordability. Toyotas are some of Consumer Reports' highest-rated certified pre-owned vehicles, and Rudy Luther Toyota's service department is the one place I take my Sienna for all of its maintenance needs. Toyotas are fantastic vehicles because they're fantastic vehicles. See for yourself at Rudy Luther Toyota off of 394 in Golden Valley.
Anine, I'm Lieutenant Governor Peggy Flanagan, and you are listening to Native Roots Radio.
Welcome back to Native Roots Radio Presents I'm Awake, and this is Robert Pilot.
In this portion of the show, we like to bring awareness to our Minnesota wolf population. Say no to the hunts.
How? I held that really long so Rita could join in.
I know. Maybe I'll get there someday.
Yeah. Hey, we're with Rita Arndt, Program and Outreach Manager with Native American Initiatives at the Minnesota Historical Society. And we were talking a little bit about what's happening on the 27th at the History Center in Native Women Run. And maybe we can get just a little deeper on that. I know we're ending the segment, but there's going to be also speaking will be Carrie Tolfelson, and Carrie represents Team USA in the 2004 Olympic Games in Athens. And Athens, I think, is where the Olympics started.
It sure was. I'm glad you know that history. What's been really great is that the Minnesota Historical Society has been collaborating with different local organizations to really highlight different conversations when it comes to women's history and like what's happening. So this instance, it's a collaboration between MNHS and Twin Cities in Motion, which Carrie, I believe, is part of, but I may be confused. I get confused easily. But I think it's a really great thing because the Native Woman Run has been I follow them on Instagram. So I was like, oh, I totally know all about them. And I think about a few years ago when they were highlighted on Oprah. So I know that this is such a huge thing for community. And so I look forward to how they're going to engage folks and really talk about what it means for Native people to run. As a not runner, I totally support all of this. I will support from the sidelines. I will be a good cheer person for this.
Well, I'll be speed walking right along with them.
Native Women Run, yeah, they're all over. And I recently got to know Verna myself a little bit, and what an amazing woman and great leadership to be leading Native Women Run. Want to quickly shout out, they are looking for Native runners actually coming up in May 17th. There's going to be Women Run the Cities in Minneapolis. You can do a 5K, 10K, or 10 mile. Check out Native Women Run for that application to sign up.
Wow, Haley, there you go.
I know, right? I'll have to get back into running. Or
right on. Hey, we got some more stuff to talk about, and this segment flies. But again, March 27th, Natives Women Run, and that's an awesome thing. What else do we got going on? We have things I do see your social media pop up every once in a while and I go, I know about this. And so let's talk a little bit so our listeners know how welcoming uh, the Minnesota Historical Society is to everyone in the community.
Yeah, we're trying to make things more accessible for folks. So, like this Thursday is a prime example because that is our free admission night. So, please, I always tell people take advantage of that. So, we're also trying to align our programming to be with that so that, people don't have to pay for visiting even the exhibits as well if they wanted to make a whole night out of it to go to exhibit and then the talk. So it is something that we really want to be inviting and see this as a community space too. It is a huge building. It can be really daunting, but we're trying to get more community, especially local community. We worked a lot with St. Paul Public Schools Indian Education to hold some of their family events and their senior honorings at the History Center to, be like, this is your space. Let's use it. Let's indigenize it. And those are always the fun days. So I really look forward to Thursday because I feel like there's a lot of Indigenous people who will be coming. Brooke LaFleur happens to be having a sold out beading event at the same time concurrently.
Wow.
And it's the end of our teen program. So we're going to be we're showing up on Thursday. So if you want to come and visit us, we'll be around and you can talk with us. You can learn more of our department and our programs and resources as well.
Talk a little bit more about Brooke LaFleur's. What did you say? Her beading thing is sold out, or
Yes.
there's
It will.
no more seats left?
Well, it was a free event where so a lot of people I feel like go on that are like, yeah, so you just had to sign up and it was a max of 25. But I have a sneaking suspicion that I could get you in if we needed to. I'm not too worried about supplies. She's just talking about her journey through the work that she does through Resbal, but also, Montessori school, and also share like how she teaches in the classroom with a beading little beaded earring demonstration and workshop. So that'll be fun too.
Well, she's been on the show many times, and she's has an amazing story, being a 5'1" person that made a Division I basketball team as a walk-on. To me, is just amazing right there.
Yeah, and I look forward to because it's super fun too because she's in the exhibit that's upstairs. So to also have, I hope there'll be young girls coming in and meeting Brooke and then be able to see her up on exhibit too to really be like, oh my gosh, I just met her because those are the really exciting things I like about having exhibits and talking about my work.
Yeah, and she's also assistant women's basketball coach at Harding High School, which I taught at for 30 years. And I know, giving those guys a quick shout out, that they made the tournament for the first time ever.
Wow.
Boys, yeah.
Congrats. Yeah.
Yeah, so the coach was a former student of mine, so it was great that the whole cycle. Not that I was a basketball player. Let's get that straight. That I was an ankle skater during that season
Oh.
when it came to skating, right,
Mhm.
Haley?
I
What?
Yeah, I think so. Well, I want to shout out Brooke
Yeah.
too. Brooke has been teaching me to bead on the side. Brooke is a great friend, good friend of mine, and she's a great teacher. So if you're
Mm.
looking to get into beading, she has a lot of different styles she could show
Mm.
you. She's an easy teacher, so she's not confusing or explains things, in a
Mhm.
confusing way. And she's also a great basketball coach. So if you
Yeah.
want to play res ball, hit up Brooke.
Yeah, and I've seen, Haley's, base or, hats that she's done. I know they're probably handy to show, but, that, Brooke helped you out with, the beginning of beating those, and,
Yeah.
yeah, it's
I hope she
amazing.
does more workshops because, yeah, she's a great teacher. She's all over the community and in a good way. So, yeah, I want to ask a bit. How much longer is that girlhood? It's complicated exhibit up for?
I want to say through next month, but I may be totally wrong. I just know in the fall it's going to be different, so they have to take down at one point. So maybe June, maybe June. It's on
Okay.
our website, I'm sure.
Well,
Right on.
good to know. Yeah, if people listening can head over to the Minnesota History Center this Thursday, admission is free. Where is the best parking, Rita?
We
Good
we
question.
have a parking lot, and the parking will also be free, which is a really great thing to have because I know a lot of folks get intimidated about parking downtown, and we have a lot,
Okay.
so you don't have to be too intimidated by that.
Right, and it's a big lot too, so everyone show up. It's amazing, and just by knowing you, Rita, and our relationship with the Minnesota Historical Society over the years, I don't even think twice about going there. It's so easy.
Good. That's good to hear.
Hey Rita, when is I know we got about a minute left. When is the deadline for the Native Museum Fellows program for
April 4th. So I think that's next Friday. So a week and a half. And we're happy to help with any questions you may have as well about the application.
Awesome.
Oh, well, Haley, hey, there you go.
Hey, I know when people think about it, it's a great opportunity for those recent graduates or community. What were you guys calling them? Community
scholars.
Scholars. I love that.
Nice. Yeah, that's what I started calling my students at the end. But I think they thought I was getting senile, so it was a good time to retire. Rita, thank you so much for coming on. We're going to see you in another week. Take a break, and then we'll grill you some more. A lot of
Yay.
great stuff happening at the Minnesota Historical Society.
We're trying. Oh, good to see both of you. And I'll see you around soon, I'm sure.
Right on.
Yes, on Thursday.
On
Right
Thursday.
on.
Haley's like, I will see you on Thursday.
I'll be there.
Haley will be there. Cool.
Great.
Hey, it's opening baseball season. I'll try and make it. Hey, if you're listening to the show, you're part of the resistance from Chief Plenty Coops, the ground in which we stand on. It's sacred ground. It's the blood of our ancestors. We need to resist, divest, join a group, run for office, and go to the museum. Minnesota Historical Society. We'll be back tomorrow.
The city of Minneapolis is now on Native Roots